So today I'm going to talk into why Donald Trump is a time traveler. So it's a pretty crazy accusation, but listen to this. So there's a lot of coincidences that you can't just overlook. So in the 1800s, a man called Ingersoll Lockwood published a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Adventures, and this book was about the guy called Baron Trump, and he just goes on adventures and does adventurous stuff. So nothing out of the ordinary in that. There was multiple sequels in this storyline with Baron Trump, and the last book was called 1900 or The Last President. For some reason, Mr. Lockwood gave two titles, but we live. So the boy Baron Trump is a descendant of a Germanic heritage, and he lives with his dog Bulger on the Fifth Avenue Street in New York City in a place called Trump Castle. Now, this may seem pretty similar to real life. Like, this is mental. So he lives in Trump Castle on Fifth Avenue Street. Now, you know what else is on Fifth Avenue Street in real life? Trump Tower. And a boy called Baron Trump lived in there before. That is literally, out of all the streets he could live on, he lives on Fifth Avenue Street. Trump, it's exactly the same thing. It's like you made a story after all this happened. And also, I'm pretty sure the Trump family, they have Germanic heritage as well. It's literally like a documentary about the Trump family. Like, everything this book says is exactly the same. Maybe that's just a coincidence though. So let's continue. So during the story, Baron Trump is helped by a magic man called Don Fume. Now, we all know what Don is short for. Donny. Now, but seriously, it's short for Donald. Like, what do you mean? So Baron Trump's friend, and who is an older man, is called Donald. Well, Donald Trump, mate. It's the same. In one of the stories as well, Donald and little Baron Trump, they they go to Russia to get some help. Which obviously there was a huge conspiracy that Russia helped the Trump family get into presidency, which is a madness. So I mean, all of these things, they just kind of there's no concrete evidence. But how many coincidences can there be before something's dodgy? You know what I mean? But this book is literally seems like it's written after real life events that's happening now. It's just crazy. In Lockwood's last novel, 1900 or The Last President, the book involves a scene in November where New York City has turned into anarchy, where socialists and a lot of other people are rioting due to the new president coming into power, and these people are fighting off police and destroying rich people's businesses. Now again, this is mental. Now obviously in New York City and all over America and all over the world really, there's been riots going on where people, mostly in the left wing of the political spectrum, they're literally rioting, and they're not rioting because of the president as such, but they are rioting against police. They're fighting against police and they're destroying rich businesses, as you're seeing with looting and stuff like that. Now that's happening now. Now this year, there's going to be a new president re-elected in. Now we've seen the story. All these riots happening in November. Now, does that mean that in this November there's going to be more and more riots about the president as well? Maybe Trump will be re-elected and everyone's like, nah, we're not have another 4 years of this. We're going to fight him out. And that's just so crazy, because literally all of this is happening now, and it's only a couple months away from November where Trump will possibly be re-elected. And honestly, if he does get re-elected, I wouldn't be surprised if riots and protests happen more, because he's such an unpopular president, and it's just mental. And it's the fact that in the book it says that they're socialists as well, because it is socialists. Obviously the protest that happened when he was elected the first time, it was socialists and left wing people protesting, because obviously they don't want a right wing government. It's mental. He's a time traveler, I'm telling you. Now another really, really, really small detail that it just pops out is that in the book, this new president, when he was choosing who would be in his cabinet, in the government, one of the people he chose to be in cabinet was called Pence. What do you mean? Mike Pence is Trump's vice president in real life. Mate, honestly, why is there so many details just exactly the same as real life? Well, this is dodgy. Like it just is dodgy. Mike Pence is also in this book. Now in this book, obviously I said that Baron Trump, he has a dog called Bulger, and the Trump family have never really had pets. They obviously used to live in an apartment flat, Broad Trump Tower, so it's not really an apartment flat, it's like a palace, um, um, but recently, obviously they've moved into the White House, and it's expected, well not expected, but it's common for the White House family to have a pet. So they actually bought a dog. So now the Trumps have a dog. So that's another link to the book. But this dog is called Patten. Baron Trump in real life named him Patten. So obviously Patten and Bulger, they're completely different names. But no, the current dog Patten is named after a General Patten of the U.S. military, who was an influential leader in America's win at the Battle of the Bulger in World War Two. That oh my, like this is, you could say this is quite far fetched, but I mean Patten and Bulger, they're both quite rare names. Like, I've never heard a dog called Patten or Bulger. Like they are both. Like, it's not like he's called John and he's like, oh yeah, he's named after John from World War Two. Like Patten and Bulger. Like come on, like that's dodgy. So maybe the time traveler Donald Trump, for some reason, is like obsessed over this guy, um, from World War Two. So he's named like both his dogs, or like tried to. Oh my! It's just it blows my mind how many of these small details, because none of this is concrete evidence. It was like, oh yeah, that's proof that he's a time traveler. But I mean, like, what's going on, Donald? Like, comment, Donald Trump, if you're watching, comment down below and tell me if you're a time traveler, because you're dodgy, mate. Honestly. So the real life Donald Trump he has an uncle called John Trump, which I think he might have been named after, because I think Donald Trump's middle name is John. But anyway, um, now John Trump was a scientist who, when Nikola Tesla, I think you all should know him. When Nikola Tesla died, John Trump was one of the scientists that was put to work to uncode all of Tesla's workings and try and work out what he's doing. Because obviously Tesla, he was a mysterious guy and ahead of his time as well. Like if anyone could do stuff like time traveling, it's Nikola Tesla. Like he's a mental guy. So John Trump went to work as he does, and he was actually inspired by Tesla. So John Trump himself started to work on things that he deemed impossible. So John Trump, he may have looked at time travel and been like, "That's impossible." Like, so he works on it and tries to come up with a way to time travel, and other things as well, like maybe flight. I don't know. But, so when John Trump died, he may have left all of his workings to his nephew Donald Trump to work out. Now Trump is obviously very, 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 very rich, and if anyone has the finances personally to do it, Donald Trump's up there, and obviously he's a lunatic as well. So like if he's out of anyone in the world who would potentially do something like that, it's him. Now it's really crazy to like when you like listen to all of this. It is crazy. Like you can't just sit there and be like, nothing's wrong, everything's nice and dandy. Because like maybe he's not a time traveler. That is jumping a bit far. But like all of these coincidences, like Mike Pence being elected into the cabinet, then it happens in real life. Baron Trump is the like, oh, it's just so confusing. It literally blows my mind. Donald Trump being in The Simpsons. This doesn't really link to him being a time traveler, but it's also just other dodgy things. I mean, maybe you can find it if you can find a link. How The Simpsons supports Donald Trump being a time traveler, comment down below. But obviously, there's that scene in The Simpsons where Trump's just been elected into office, and then he's like going down that escalator, and then it happens in real life, and like the scene's played out in real life. Like there's someone behind the glass who drops a sign at exactly the same time. He's waving at exactly the same motion as he is in The Simpsons. It's mental. And I don't know if it's the same episode, but Donald Trump actually dies in The Simpsons whilst being president. And there's some woman in like East Asia who's like she's done a lot of predictions that came true. Like she's predicted 9/11 and she's predicted loads of other things. And she actually predicted that Donald Trump dies while in office, or he was the last president or something, which is mental. Like if this happens, like I'm actually gonna cry. So after listening to all these things, guys, do you think that Donald Trump is a time traveler? What do you think's going on? Because it's kind of dodgy. Um, so comment down below what you think's going on, because it is dodgy, and leave this video a like and all that good shit. And I'll see you in the next video, boys. Ta-ra.